Broncos need a little more fire, and for offense to do more heavy lifting. The Philadelphia Eagles have an MVP candidate at quarterback in Carson Wentz, who is tied for the league lead in touchdown passes with 19. The Eagles are fourth in the league in scoring, and they've scored at least 27 points in each of their 4 previous home games. It will be the Broncos' job to try to match them Sunday. And the Denver Broncos know any turnaround they'd like to construct this season will likely hinge on whether or not the team's offense holds up far more of the bargain than it has. "We're trying to score as many points as we can on a weekly basis," said Broncos offensive coordinator Mike McCoy. "Unfortunately, we haven't scored enough points the last couple of weeks. We all know that. There's different reasons for it. And I think everybody wants to get in the end zone as many times as we can weekly, regardless of who it is." The Broncos have scored 61 points in the past 5 games combined, 12.2 points per game. They've benched quarterback Trevor Siemian to start Brock Osweiler against the Eagles, and they haven't thrown a touchdown pass to a wide receiver since week 2. With all of that in mind, here are some things to watch in Sunday's Broncos-Eagles game. Run it anyway. The Eagles have outscored opponents 47-9 in the first quarter of their 8 games, and they lead the league in run defense, 70.4 yards allowed per game. As a result, most of Philadelphia's opponents don't stick with the run game long. 6 of their opponents didn't even hit 20 rushing attempts in a game, and 4 had 17 or fewer attempts. Still, the Broncos have struggled at times in pass protection, and their offense is at its best when the run game sets the tempo. They have to be stubborn enough to carve out some room, and center Matt Paradis could be the key. The Eagles have allowed fewer than 2.3 yards per carry on runs over the offense's guards, but over the center, opponents have run for 5.7 yards per carry. If the Broncos can create some plays in the middle of the Eagles' defense, it could shake some other things loose. Be who they are. Since Peyton Manning signed with the Broncos in 2012, the 3 wide receiver set has often been the most favored formation. But it's been 23 games since Manning retired, and the Broncos often still play as if he is behind center. The current team has performed far better in bigger sets, and the percentage of the team's negative plays are far higher in a 3-wide set, even when they've been in it half the time. 17 of the 19 sacks they've surrendered in the past 5 games have been in the 3-wide set. All of Siemian's 9 interceptions have come out of the 3-wide set, and they are 1-for in those games. To open the formation too often against the Eagles' aggressive defensive front could invite more trouble. The Eagles have surrendered plenty of passing yardage, 256.8 per game, but they're also ranked among the league's top 10 in sacks and interceptions. Clean up the third phase. Broncos special teams coordinator Brock Olivo, in his first year on the job, has consistently taken the blame for the team's special teams woes, which include a 65-yard punt return for a touchdown by the Chargers and a fumbled punt and a muffed kickoff against the Chiefs. "We keep having egregious error after egregious error, and that's on me as a coach," Olivo said Friday. "I have to dial in and get the guys focused. I'm trying to create a special teams culture here of a bunch of ass kickers. I have to get that. The Broncos could certainly use a big play or 2 from the group, but a good starting point will be a play or 2 that do not turn the game against them. Show a little fire, Whether they admit it or not, the Broncos have been guilty of some bad body language during their recent troubles, including the current 3-game losing streak. They've had players sulk after mistakes, even early in games, and have shown some here-we-go-again traits after consistent early-game mistakes. And now they've had some minor in-house defensive sniping about their problems on offense. There are plenty of players left in the locker room from the Super Bowl season that featured some of the same offensive troubles. Manning had 17 interceptions in 9 games, Simeon had 10 in 7 games this season. But the defense made game-changing plays when it had the chance in 2015 and the team scored 116 of its 355 points in the fourth quarter. This team has scored 20 fourth-quarter points, with just 13 from the offense.